I've worked for years and years and years trying to help people reprogram their unconscious mind, and I used mostly clinical hypnosis, I used therapeutic imagery, and these are very, very powerful methods. Now, I want you to have a look at this diagram. And this diagram, I will start out with just the middle circle. And this middle circle displays the here and the now. I mean, this is our life as we know it. This is the world that you see, the world that I see. This is how you feel about yourself. These are the problems you face, the opportunities you have. And this is the amount of money you're making at this moment. This is the amount of friends that you're having. This is the amount of happiness you're experiencing in your mind. This is everything that is going on in your life right here and now. Now, what's interesting is that when you say the here and now, it is a very subjective concept, because your here and now may not be the same as mine or my wife's or your husband, wife, or partner. There are millions of different worlds. As we have seen in previous videos, that we project the world outside of ourselves based on our pre-existing knowns, that what we know is what we see, that what we know is what we attract. And so we are living in a highly subjective reality. Nobody, not two people, experience life the same way. It also means that the way I think about what's possible for me is really confined to that what I believe about myself. Some people, they think everything is possible. Other people feel I will never be able to accomplish this. This has everything to do with their unconscious mind and the way they are programmed. And this results then in a different experience of how they live in the here and now. And so it's not just what you see and what you feel, but it is what you think about what life can bring to me or will never be able to bring to me. Now, I want you to look at the second circle, the one above the middle circle, and that intersects with circle number 1, and that is the universe, or that what is possible. Now, this second circle really means all the energies that are available around me. It doesn't just mean that what lies outside my visible spectrum, right? Infrared, ultraviolet, electromagnetism, telephone waves, radio waves, cosmic rays, you name it, energy, chi, prana, everything that is out there. But it also means things that I can attract. I mean, why do we pray? Because we believe that God can give us certain things. We also, if we want more affluence, whatever that may mean, it needs to come from somewhere. It's like a bank. I mean, you gotta take it from somewhere. I mean, money doesn't come out of nowhere. It needs to be available somewhere. The same as with friends. If I want friends, they are out there, but they haven't come into my vision. If I want a lover, that means that that person is somewhere out there, but it's not, he, she, it is not in connection with me. And so the idea is that if I want something, I must have the faith and the understanding that there is an abundance out there, that everything that I seek is available. We cannot hold the position that it is not there, it will never come to me. See, when you say it is not there or it will never come to me, these are two different things. It is there. Money is there, love is there, people are there, community is there. Now, whether you're able to attract it to yourself is a different thing. So we need to first dissect these two things. Okay, if you feel I cannot do it, well and good, but at least acknowledge it is out there, because it is. Now, that's why we call this not just the universe, but also the realm of possibilities. Whatever it is you're seeking, it is possible that it may come your way if you but know how. And here's the how, the third circle, the unconscious, the subconscious mind. Now I kind of mix subconscious, unconscious. I prefer to use the word subconscious because it means it is just below the surface. I mean, I could access it, I can make it conscious, I can learn to govern these forces. When you say unconscious, to me it always seems to be more dramatic, like it is so far away I cannot get to it. But I do believe that we can get to it. So I prefer to use the word subconscious. Perhaps there's people that make actually the distinction between what subconscious and unconscious is. For our purposes, I just see them as one and the same, and I call it the subconscious. Now, we've already talked quite a bit about the subconscious, and this is where the knowns are scripted. All the impressions of our early childhood, and we have to include into that unconscious, subconscious mind the samskaras, the tendencies, the impressions of our past lives. All of this is written in this third circle. And these are the scripts that we are running. If we have a certain situation, we face a certain situation, we try to instinctively solve that by using the tools available in the subconscious toolbox. And that's all that we have access to. Your subconscious is not the same as my subconscious or a third person. Why? Because we all have access to different tools. These tools depend on our past, how much effort I have placed in rescripting this, how much I have learned, how much knowledge I have gathered, how many experiences I have undergone, how many lifetimes I have struggled through this and that. And that has provided me with an innate understanding of certain situations that I would now use in any given situation. And so this is a vast toolbox, but we can do better. And if we want to affect change, it needs to happen first in the subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind is the energy field of our being as we are in this world. 90% of the mind is unconscious, perhaps even more. And the vibration that I emit, if you are standing in front of somebody and you're talking to somebody, only 7% of what you say is accepted in terms of the words you use. 93% of the impression you leave on others is coming from that unconscious imprint. And so your vibe, your confidence, the way people look at you, the way they believe you, is coming out of this unconscious, culture that you have created. And so it's an unspoken vibe. And if you want to change that vibe, if you want to change the way you affect the world, if you want to change what you attract to yourself, you need to talk to that 93% of your unconscious mind. And we need to bring change there. Now, how do you do that? There are many ways. The first thing to do is to just understand it. That if you want something, just praying, just hoping is not perhaps always the most effective way. Now, I'm a big fan of prayer, don't misunderstand me, but from a purely academic standpoint, we need to understand that we need to be consistent and logical about the way we go about this. And the idea is then to reinforce particular thoughts into that unconscious mind. And I can do that in a variety of ways. I can just take up an idea and hammer that down every day into this unconscious. Now, what you need to understand about the unconscious, it is a child. The unconscious doesn't judge, it doesn't criticize, it doesn't really necessarily know what is good and what is not good. And it accepts what you put there if you do it right. And so when you say, I want something, then let's say you want a certain car, okay? And at the moment, this is outside of the range of your possibilities. And so what you need to do is then every day visualize that car. Have pictures hanging on the wall, have a vision board, the front bumper, the side, the back, what kind of tires, and the inside. And then you want you to imagine that you're sitting inside this car and you can smell the new leather, you can smell the newness of this car, and you feel your hands on the steering wheel, and you start to live this dream in your mind as if you already own this car. You can see yourself driving, perhaps you have the window open, your arm sticks out, you feel very cool and very happy with this new car, and perhaps your hair is all done up and you look good, and you are the man or you're the woman, whatever you are when you drive this car. Now, by continuously repeating this becomes a new known. Now, traditional hypnotherapy is based on this concept. Rather than having to do this yourself over and over again, we have methods by which you can override this resistance to the unconscious, subconscious mind, and we can help you in a very fast way imprint that idea into your unconscious mind, that it accepts it easier and quicker. That is the only difference by doing it yourself or having somebody help you. Matter of speed. The principle is the same. Through other forms of therapy, guided imagery, meditations, all of this stuff helps. Now, of course, it depends what it is that you want. You can also put a lover in there, a partner, and you start visualizing, feeling, sensing that he, she, it is there for you. You can visualize spiritual states. This is what I do in my meditation. I don't really try to pray too much for stuff of the world. I do use these methods if there's something I need or I have a plan for the future. I try to visualize it as if it already happened. But predominantly when I meditate on a state that I either have experienced once before or that I want to experience again. And I see myself again and again in that state, in that bliss, in that nameless, formless reality where I'm eternally free and merged with all my loved ones and with all of you. We're all one in that state. And this is how I visualize and meditate. And if you keep on putting that into your unconscious mind, then eventually things start to move. Now I want you to look now at these arrows. You see arrows coming from the top towards that is equal sign and coming from the bottom up towards that is equal sign. What it means is that everything you want, we have already postulated this notion that it's available, but it needs to come to you, it needs to be attracting towards you, it needs to be directed towards you. It's the same way, exactly the same way as a radio tower. If you tune your radio to a certain frequency, you'll receive the station you desire. And the universe is that station, and your unconscious mind is that radio. And they're always equal. This is the secret here. What is it that you want? What is the vibration of your unconscious mind, your subconscious mind? What is it that it's attuned to? What vibe are you leaving around you that universe is going to give it back to you? And you see, so we have here kind of a method, an understanding of how things can come to us. And so we can never, according to this principle, we can never say that it is not possible, it is not available, I cannot attract this to myself. Yes, you can, but it needs to be reasonable in the sense that your unconscious, your subconscious mind need to accept it first. You need to have that as a conviction, as a real living presence in your unconscious mind, in your subconscious mind. So the thing is, it starts with the subconscious, like, is it accepted in the subconscious? And so unrealistic ideas at this moment, you will find that the subconscious mind is unable to accept that. It's not able to believe it. And so you have to be within reason. And so the steps, therefore, are increments. What you do is you start with a plan. You say, well, I want to execute this in my life. I want to achieve that in my life. Then you're going to take this in increments. You have the first phase of your plan that is within reason. And when you reason this out, you say, yes, that is not too unrealistic. It may not be the end goal, but this is something that I could do as a first step. Then the subconscious mind is more likely to accept it. And then you bring this into fruition, you make it come real. Now, when you have achieved that, then you start programming the second stage of your plan into the subconscious mind. And then thus you progress in these different stages. Okay, so the idea here is to rescript either directly or incrementally that subconscious mind, and once it accepts these notions, the universe will bring it, and this then will be reflected back into the middle circle. Your here and now experience is going to change. As this universe provides you with what it is you have been attuning yourself to, the experience of the here and now changes accordingly as well. And so that is the only thing that you're really seeing and witnessing and experiencing. You don't necessarily see or feel the workings of the universe. You're not truly aware of the subconscious processes, because that's why it's subconscious, that's why it's unconscious, but you do feel it happening in the here and now. And the only way to test this is to test it. Also make perhaps a vision board, and next to the vision board have this diagram that will allow you to really intelligently and intellectually understand and grasp the concept. Because once you grasp it, right, then you have that belief, yes, this is how it works, I can do this. And that's why these diagrams are so very, very helpful. And I wish you all the luck and success to achieve that, what it is you want and need to achieve.